Oh, it's you. Come on in. Welcome to the Scumm Bar. Assemble. Godzilla's here. It's Rodan. Oh wait, it's Gamera.
Oh, it's the Pink Ranger.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the Falcon made that noise?
Every time he goes in for a dive.
Welcome to the Scumm Bar Podcast, where we talk movies, video games, pop culture, books, pepperoni pasta, and everything in between that pasta. Hello, I am your host, Mattbrush. With me today, I have a very unique guest. I had to find him in the jungles of Zanzibar. He was living up in a tree. He didn't speak a lick of English, but here he is today. Welcome.
Oh, Jade. I assume that's what you were going for. Is Tarzan from Zanzibar?
No, I think maybe, I don't know. Let me, here, quick Google search.
Okay.
Where's Tarzan from?
While you're doing that, I'm Anth0z. It's just so there's no silence.
I should have guessed. Okay, obvious question gives obvious answer. Where's Tarzan from?
From Africa?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
It's from the African jungle.
Okay, gotcha.
Should have figured that one out. It was either that or the Amazon, but it wasn't very many Brazilians in the Tarzan movie, so it doesn't really make sense. Plus, if you think about the colonial, English people coming down, Africa makes sense.
Oh yeah, yep.
I get it. I get it.
I gets it.
Anth0z,
Mattbrush.
would you like to hear a pirate joke?
Usually.
I was lagging a little bit. I gotta improve my RAM. There we go. What do you call a pirate that skips class?
Skips class.
I'll warn you. It's a good one.
Darn. Because it's a good one, I want to get it, but I'm sure I won't. A peg legger. A skip. Oh, a skipper me timbers. Did I get
I
it?
don't want to tell you. That's pretty good. No, it's Captain Hooky.
Ah, okay.
Of course, the famous, the infamous Captain Hooky.
Captain Hooky.
He's always late, or he's not there.
Infamous cousin to Captain Hook.
Yes.
I assume.
Hooky.
Yeah. Cool. Good joke. Thank you.
Or Captain Hook's first name is Hook. Or Captain Hook's first name is Hook, and this guy's name is also Hook, and they were in the same class. So there was Hook A, and then he was Hook E.
So where are B, C, and D?
It's me using my brain. I'm using Unagi. I don't know where B, C... You don't need... No, it's just their last names. That's how you identify these people.
Okay.
Hook A and Hook E.
Or just... Yeah, okay. Sure.
Captain Hook E. Everyone, I'm sure you want me to get out of this joke. So let me just introduce the premise of today's episode. Today's episode is sponsored by... it's not sponsored. We are going to not have a news segment. Juan's Day is not today. And we are not going to have a news segment, which we normally do. We normally just jump into the ye old news, as it were. But guess what we're doing today, Anth0z?
We are going... No, we're not going unhinged.
We're going to talk about... Comic-Con.
Doomm,
Comic-Con. I don't know why I was holding up a Doomm magnet for Anth0z, so I just totally screwed that up. No, we're going to talk about Comic-Con, and actually, you know what? We actually can talk about Doomm as well, because funny enough, it was BlizzCon today, so there was a whole Doomm Eternal thing going on. So that was kind of cool.
Well,
I have a bit of stuff I can talk about that.
That's news.
Anyways,
yeah.
it is news. That's news.
That's news.
But we really just want to spend all this time talking about Comic-Con because so much stuff happened. So many trailers, so many announcements, so many things.
Yep.
And it's like all these people just talking about buzzworthy stuff. And I'm like, oh, I just want to talk to Anth0z about this, but I need like a whole platform to do so. Why not just make a podcast? So
yeah, this should be the first time that we try this.
Episode 1, here we go. Hey, Anth0z!
Hey, Mattbrush! Doesn't that kind of
we're
like...
just young for some reason, we're little kids.
No, but doesn't that remind you of any TV series? Like, the first season, they always talk so much higher than they do maybe by like even the second season. They talk so much lower. Like, I noticed that in Friends, Seinfeld, except for like Seinfeld himself, because he always speaks in a high-pitched voice. But I'm sure they were like that in...
What's the deal with my high voice?
Like Frasier, I don't know, you name it, I'm sure
Baby,
it's
I hear the blues are calling, tossed salad and scrambled eggs. They're calling again.
Nice, that was good.
Frasier. I used to really like Frasier. That was a good show.
Frasier's great.
Yeah, and at Comic-Con, they announced the reboot of Frasier. Could you believe it? David Harbour is playing Frasier. I wonder if anybody typed that in. I really hope somebody typed that in. That would have been amazing. They were just like, oh my god, David Harbour is going to play Frasier.
Did you just think of that now? Because I like that idea.
It's just because he just played Hellboy, and then they just announced him in Comic-Con for that thing. So it's like, it just feels like his name is being thrown around everywhere, and then obviously Stranger Things. So it's like, throw David Harbour into it.
But I feel like he could fit so well with kind of like a modern day Frasier. I don't know why. I can see that. I can really see that.
It's Frasier, but for millennials.
And Niles,
smart millennial.
Niles would be Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh my god.
He would be the supporting role.
Make this now. Comic-Con!
Oh, that'd be great.
Whoa. Has anyone done that? Mixed Con from Star Trek with Comic-Con? Comic-Con! And Kamikaze.
Comic-Con-Z.
Sorry, I'm thinking... I was thinking about Dragon Ball Z, but he doesn't say Kamikaze.
No.
It says Kamehameha.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm thinking. Anth0z, I'm going to pass the baton, if you will. The baton, I'm going to pass it off to you and let you start off the Comic-Con discussion. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, geez. Where do I even start?
At the beginning.
Okay. This is the beginning. Okay, well, the last thing I watched was, I was mentioning how in order to get prepared for this recording, I watched a flash highlight of Strictly Marvel at SDCC, at San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
And, it wasn't really content specific. It was really just introducing directors, cast members of all the upcoming movies, TV shows,
pop culture,
books,
popcorn,
and pasta,
everything in between.
All the Marvel pasta, and what else? They also mentioned an animated show or some sort of animated project that they're doing, which is going to feature some previous phase 1 to 3 cast members doing voice acting for that. So
sorry, did you say that was What If?
Oh, is that the What If?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I thought I heard you say that, so that I was just gonna quickly go into that. But no, that's fine.
Okay, no, I have no idea if that is in fact What If.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so when I think one of my first thoughts when I was actually watching just this highlight reel was that as they were introducing all these actors on stage, there are a lot of known actors for sure. So with the Eternals, we've got Angelina Jolie. With the
oh god,
I
didn't know that. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I already wasn't excited for Eternals.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this. We briefly talked about Angelina Jolie being cast for it.
Oh, did you? I didn't remember you saying she was confirmed. I know we talked about Eternals, but I thought you just mentioned what Eternals was to me, and I was not impressed.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So, so she's in it. I can't remember which one she's a part of, but Rachel Weisz is going to be a part of one along with David Harbour.
Wait, what?
Oh, that's the prequel for Scarlet Witch.
Oh no, Black Widow.
I'm sorry. Whenever Black Widow. When I hear,
are we jumping around? I feel like we were talking about Eternals 2 seconds ago, and now we're talking about Black Widow.
Oh, I was just trying to name all the kind of known cast members.
Oh, you can just throw up everything that's going on now if you want to.
But sorry, just with the whole Scarlet thing. Whenever I hear Scarlet, or whenever I say it out loud, I can't distinguish between Scarlet Witch and Scarlett Johansson. So I just whatever
Well, that
comes
makes
out of my
sense.
mouth, just take it as is. But
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. I got it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to point out that, like I did mention this before, and how I feel Marvel is really changing just the movie game, the movie going experience, the industry itself, I guess, in terms of how fans get to experience the actors. So I don't know what other kind of panels normally take place for movies. Like I don't know, like say something like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. I mean, like the first time that they announced Mission Impossible years and years and years ago in the 90s, would they have had some sort of panel or like a news announcement saying
No, Comic-Con used to be like a little booth, and you would go and like get a photo signed, by Stan Lee or something.
But is that even the kind
or
of
like Jack Kirby?
Right, exactly, right. So it was less,
And you would dress up.
yeah.
Sorry, but actors didn't matter. Like Tobey Maguire would not be at Comic-Con, or maybe he was in 2001. But I would like it wouldn't have been like expected that Tobey Maguire would be at Comic-Con. Is what I'm saying.
Right. I guess just what I'm trying to say is, from what I recall, or from what I can understand, I think it's really cool that now fans have this other outlet. The fans that already go to Comic-Con, the ones who have been going to Comic-Con for all this time and have always wanted to, like, say they've been invested in all the comics, video games, TV shows, pop culture.
Books.
We've got a good tagline.
I know. It's brilliant.
It rings.
Brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, so now they have like they don't have to wait for like Entertainment Tonight to announce like, oh, this is the person that's going to be the next, I don't know, James Bond or whatever, right? Like,
Right.
Now they can go to this thing that they've always been going to, and also get the additional hype of seeing the person that they're dying to hear announced as being the actor for their favorite upcoming movie or comic adaptation, right? So,
And the studios really have complete control over the slow trickle of information they feed out to everybody, right? Like now they have so much control over that because of these little events that they're like, okay, here's where we put our teaser, here's where we slap this into a little trailer kind of cut, or like here's where we like announce an actor, and here's where we do, and like they can just trickle it all so perfectly with these little things now.
Yeah.
Well, especially Disney especially can do all that. And it's interesting, I'll say. I don't necessarily like it, but it's interesting. A fun fact is that Comic-Con numbers seem to be dwindling, though. There's less people going to Comic-Con these days.
I wonder if it's because more people would want to stream it from home. Like, it's expensive, obviously, to go, but you can
it's
stream
apparently
from home.
illegal at Comic-Con to stream. You can't live stream at Comic-Con. And I think that's why. Because if you live stream, then there's going to be more and more people just watching it from home. Nobody's going to want to go to Comic-Con. So, yeah. It's funny because it's like, oh man, like I can see in the future Comic-Con dying, because look at E3's numbers these years. We were talking about it earlier in our E3 podcast, but E3 is dying and going down, and less people are caring about actually seeing the event or going to it. And as you mentioned, Sony pulled out and wasn't even at E3. Mm-hmm. So how long until Disney's like, we don't need Comic-Con, we just need DisneyCon.
DisneyCon, yeah, DC.
Yeah. And like, yeah, at DisneyCon they'll have at Disneyland, and therefore you'll have to buy Disneyland tickets or something, right?
Wait.
And David Harbour is hosting.
David Harbour is Mickey Mouse.
What?
Oh, that would be amazing, though. Can you imagine? Have you been to Disneyland?
Yes, twice.
So did you ever watch?
Amazing.
Yes, it's what do they call it? It's not a wonderful life.
A dream come true.
It's it is a dream come true. No, it's the Magic Kingdom, the Magical Kingdom, the something Kingdom.
The Magical Kingdom of Oz.
That's the one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to go water my plants. No, I don't have to water my plants. That was wrong. I have to go turn on my sprinkler. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll be right back. Actually, you know what? Just ramble, okay? You're just going to have to ramble because the people are going to have to listen to you. So go ahead.
Okay. Oh, shoot. I'm alone now. Well, I mean, okay. So for those who are still listening, thank you. We appreciate you. Well, I can't speak for Mattbrush, but I appreciate you. Every single one of all of individually yous out there listening. So thank you for your patronage. I hope you continue to listen. Oh, but also, Just so that we can have some more fun times to interact with you. Why don't you? Hey!
You only got like, oh man, I'm out of breath. You've only got like a brief window when you turn on the sprinkler and it's doing its semicircle thing. And it's like about to hit me and I gotta run past it and not have it hit me. And it's dangerous, man.
You gotta practice your Spiderman flipping skills.
Spiderman, dodging sprinklers every day he can. What were you saying? Actually, you know what? I'll find out in the edit. Don't tell me.
All right.
So David Harbour hosts DisneyCon. I was going to mention, though, you were talking about... Oh, yes. I just wanted to briefly stay real quick. I apologize to everybody in advance because I feel like I'm going to be really cynical on this podcast. And I don't mean to be, but I feel really exhausted, especially with like Marvel in general or Disney in general. And I'm starting to care less and less and less about these things and this news. Mm-hmm. And as I've seen most, if not all, of the new things thrown at me from Disney or Marvel, I'm just not excited. So I don't have many good things to say. I have a few, but I don't have many good things to say today. So I feel like I'm going to be quite cynical. So I'm sorry. Okay, well, hopefully you're more of a shining light.
Let's just play good cop, bad cop today. That's what it'll be.
So first thing I want to say, I can't wait to talk about this. I'm so excited.
I can't wait to rip Marvel apart, is what you're trying to say.
No, Supergirl. I'm going to talk about DC for a second.
Okay. Whoa.
Did you know?
So excited you're not even going to talk about Marvel.
Supergirl is a TV show.
Yep.
For one.
Yeah.
And it's in season 5.
Wow, already.
Like, what?
Oh, cause they started one or two seasons after The Flash. Probably one season.
Did they?
I think so.
Oh my god, yeah. I can't believe that. Like, I briefly remember when that first aired, and I think my girlfriend watched one episode, and I was like I just forgot about it. I forgot this thing even existed, and I saw it, and I was like, Supergirl has a show. And then it was like season 5 coming to CW or whatever. And I was like, what? Like, I was like, what is this? There's a season 5?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And on that, for that matter, there's also like Walking Dead, another season of that. I can't believe that's still running. There's Fear the Walking Dead. I can't believe that's still running.
Yep.
There's like the Arrow you mentioned. Like there's a whole bunch of these. Doomm Squad or something.
Oh, Doomm Squad. Yeah. But isn't that's gonna be Netflix, though, isn't it? Or there's that. Because the Doomm Squad, they appeared in an episode of Titans, which is on Netflix.
Teen Titans, robots in disguise. I don't know anymore. Let's switch back to Marvel.
Okay, that was quick.
I literally had a note that just said Supergirl season 5 ?
Well, that reminds me, Batgirl is going to be coming out soon.
Oh,
which I think will also be a CW. And I believe so. All these shows are filmed in Vancouver, which is kind of cool. Like if you're ever around, you get a chance to like catch a filming or something.
You could see Batgirl.
You could.
Oh my god, actually, that's a life-changing experience.
I had a friend, or have a friend, who auditioned for one of the roles in Batgirl.
You don't have that friend anymore, Anth0z.
I know, okay. We're still friends.
You can admit it.
I can check my messages right now.
I don't think so.
She messaged.
Check again.
She replied.
Check again.
Fine.
Check again.
Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. She replied. She replied to me yesterday at 5:54 p.m.
That's not a friend.
So she's real.
That's a phone, Anth0z.
Get off the phone.
Get off the phone.
Anyway.
There's also Watchmen. Okay, so there's a good thing. I like the Watchmen movie.
Yep.
And then there's a Watchmen TV show coming out.
Yeah.
Now, the cynical side of me is like, oh, great, they're making a TV show. Why? But I saw the trailer and I was like, this actually looks good.
Oh, I didn't even see the trailer. Shoot.
Yeah, I think it actually legitimately looks like something I would watch.
Cool.
It's more Watchmen based on the graphic novel, and it's an original story, and it's like after the fact. And it actually looks like a decent show. Ooh. So I'm actually excited for that.
Do you know if that happens to take place after... So I'm not sure where DC Comics is right now, but the previous comics I was reading was Rebirth, which I didn't get a chance to find out how everything kind of resolved, if it did, but I know that in Rebirth they were alluding to how it was Dr. Manhattan and maybe Ozymandias? Ozymandias, yeah. Either one of them were, or I guess maybe the Watchmen as a whole, were kind of like the puppet strings, or were pulling the puppet strings for everything happening in Rebirth. So I guess I'm wondering if this TV
I
show
don't
is going
know.
to take place kind of concurrently or shortly after, or maybe completely separate?
I can't answer that.
Okay.
I don't know. I know it's in the future. I know it's in like a society, well, Watchmen-like society where no one really seems to trust each other anymore, and all the cops wear masks. There's like an elitist kind of like supremacist kind of group of people that wear Rorschach masks.
Whoa.
And then there's like a new Watchmen-like team. And it seems really interesting. I like the political side to Watchmen. I think it's interesting and it asks a lot of really cool questions. And I really like the theme of Watchmen, like the setting and the theme and the art style. I think it's really interesting. So that's probably going to be my one good thing I'm going to talk about with Comic-Con is, so I like Watchmen. Let me just say that I like Watchmen.
Sure. You know, that'd be really funny if if like the Watchmen had all these like supportive affiliate groups where people kind of band together and they tried to do like be another subset of the Watchmen, and they'd call themselves like the Clocks, and then their fathers would be like, or the grandfathers would be the grandfather clocks.
The grandfather clocks?
But then like the little baby cousins, they would be like the pocket watches.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Do you?
Not really.
Okay.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't play well. See, you don't know Hollywood, Anth0z.
One day I will get to know Hollywood. We will meet.
Prove me wrong.
We will go for coffee.
As you and I just discovered before we started recording this, apparently Orange is the New Black is in its final season. That's also a shocker to me. I'm surprised the show's still on air, but apparently it is, and also apparently it's finishing. So that's interesting.
So what does that mean for the colors?
I don't know. I mean, we didn't get to find. That was the twist ending. Is we never got to find out about any of the other colors. So who knows what's going to replace orange?
Yeah, I feel like it should be pink.
Yeah,
pink is the new orange.
Could be. Yellow is the new Steven. That could be the spinoff.
Yellow's the new Steven.
Yeah, it's a twist. Right from the title.
Very deep.
I also wrote. Oh yeah, sorry. That's the other thing. I wrote all my notes down and then forgot my pen and paper at my work, so I don't have my notes.
This is why you go digital, Mattbrush.
I know. I really enjoy physical notes, and then I forgot my pen and paper, which is frustrating. So I'm literally like, I'm trying to think about my notes in my head. So I'm going down my list. I wrote about. Did you hear that? That was my brain realizing what I wrote about.
That little pop.
Yes.
Brain
Let's
popped.
go back to Marvel.
Okay.
I'm gonna allow us to go back to Marvel for a second.
Okay.
And talk about Blade.
Ooh.
So they're making Blade, which I think is pretty interesting because I was actually, back when Blade was out,
Yep.
I don't think any of us could say like, oh, we're a fan of Marvel, because back then it was superheroes were not as involved as they are now.
For sure.
So back then you just watched a movie and you liked it. Spawn was a good movie. People just watched it and liked it.
Yeah.
Blade was a fun movie. People watched it and
probably
liked it.
like half the population compared to now, or not even, maybe like an eighth of the population that enjoy Marvel movies knew that those were Marvel-based
Exactly.
characters.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to tell you that Spawn was DC and Marvel was
Oh, that's right.
I
Yeah.
had no idea back then.
Spawn. I had no idea either. I totally forgot.
Yeah, see? You see?
Yeah, I'm the 1/8 that I'm talking
about. That's why
about.
you can't go to Hollywood, Anth0z. Because you don't know that Spawn is DC.
Let me grow.
Did you know Archie Comics is DC?
Wait, is it really?
Yes, Archie's part of the Justice League.
What? Okay.
And David Harbour is going to play him.
And therefore Sabrina the Teenage... Wait, are you being serious? I'm not sure if you are.
I kind of made that up. But let me see.
Archie
I think
Comics
they are.
and Sonic the Hedgehog are related, aren't they?
I'm sorry. They're not, because I think Archie Comics actually had a spin-off with the Punisher at one point. So that it's actually more of a chance that Archie is with... But Archie's been with Predator as well, and Predator's DC.
Yeah, that's right. There was Archie and Predator. I
Yeah.
heard about that. That sounds cool. I want to try that out.
Yeah, Archie versus Predator, and there was also Archie and Punisher. So I actually have no idea. They must be on their own, doing their own thing, and then they just like to do crossovers.
Well, didn't Archie also have a thing with Scooby-Doo?
The Punisher meets Archie. That's so crazy.
Archie's
I'm sorry,
popular.
Scooby-Doo? What
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. Oh.
But that's Scooby-Doo. What'd you say about Scooby-Doo?
I thought they had a crossover as well. Archie and Scooby-Doo. Maybe not, but... Whoa,
Makes
there's
me
a bug
upset,
crawling
not
up
because-
your shirt. On your V-neck. It's on your V-neck.
What is on there?
It's on your V. It's on the V. It's on your back right shoulder. It's on your back now.
Which one?
It was on your... What? Okay, where's your right side? Point to your right shoulder.
This is my right shoulder.
Yeah, so it's there. It's under... Look in your webcam. Look in the screen. Look on the screen.
I can't see it.
Get it. Mattbrush, get it.
I'm being attacked. What's going on? Oh, hold on.
I
Make
saw
it big.
I saw it like... It went to like the bottom of your V. Of your...
Was it a bug?
Yeah.
What kind of a bug?
A black one? I can't tell.
Oh, it's probably an ant. We've had ants in here.
Whoa.
I don't have a light in here. Give me a second. Hold on.
All right, I guess I'm rambling again. So, for those who can't see this because we don't actually publish videos, there was some sort of black bug crawling up Mattbrush's shirt, and it got to the middle of his V-neck. I was just telling the audience what I saw, what I witnessed. So basically, it got to that climax of your V. What do you call that? The pivot, the pinnacle of the V, the point.
Okay. It's okay. It's probably just an ant. I've seen them in here. I've been on the computer and I see one crawling up the wall and I'm like, ah! So, this has been the most distraction-heavy podcast I think I've ever tried to do.
We're never going to finish.
No, never. So the guy who's playing Blade,
yeah.
Was he not already in Luke Cage? That was my biggest point.
He was.
So does this make Luke Cage non-canon?
Well, I guess, because they're canceled now, so they don't even matter. Like all those Netflix shows.
I understand they're canceled, but I was still kind of holding on to the idea that they were part of the show.
I guess. Okay.
The overall show.
If
What? There's a spider on your shirt. There's a spider on your shirt. It's huge.
I looked at my screen. I'm like, oh, it's so big. I'm wearing Spiderman shirt, by the way, if we didn't mention already. So Mahershala Ali. So he was in Luke Cage, but I guess the way that I see those Netflix shows, like they're all canceled, and I'm not sure if it's been stated that it's because they're planning on not using those characters at all for the Disney Plus service that's going to be coming out, or they just didn't want to focus on it at all with what everything else that they're going to be focusing on for Phase 4 and on. But
by casting that dude, that seems like a pretty blatant, those shows don't matter at all to me.
Exactly. That's what I think now.
Like, that tells me we could take the guy who played Daredevil and get him to literally play anybody now if we wanted him to.
Yeah, he could.
Like, they could introduce Ghost Rider tomorrow and have him play Ghost Rider if they wanted to.
Actually, he would have been a good... I could see him being a good Winter Soldier.
Yes, me too. Although I really like the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Sebastian
I think
Stan
he would
great.
also be a good Winter
He does a great job.
He'd be a really good Daredevil, though, in the Marvel Universe.
Sebastian
If
Stan.
they didn't throw in frickin' Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and the other dude, then he would have been fine. You know what? You don't even need Foggy. You don't even need Pepper Potts chick for Daredevil. You just need Daredevil. Yes, her. And you just need Daredevil and toss him in with Iron Man, and he would have been fine. He was good. He was a good guy.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
He's the one who got gypped the most out of everybody, I think.
I want to see a crossover of Spider-Man, Deadpool, and Daredevil. Just for like a 20-minute interaction. See what they do.
That'd be interesting. I'd be down with that.
Yeah, I think it could be fun.
Okay, more Marvel news. Thor 4.
Love and Thunder.
The 4 Thor.
Yep.
I wouldn't say I'm upset. I don't necessarily care. But I'm also pissed off at the same time.
Of course you are.
I don't want to see a girl wielding the hammer. I feel like this is obvious, but I don't want to see a girl wielding the hammer.
But what about all the people that enjoy the comics?
Who cares about those people? I don't care about those people. I get it. There's a comic. I get it. She has cancer. She needs a hammer. She wants to feel better. She wants to be okay.
Does she have cancer?
I don't care. I really don't care. I think that's the story. She has cancer. She's dying. She gets the hammer. She becomes Thor. And she doesn't die anymore. That's like the story. And so it's an easy like one-off story they're going to throw in to please a bunch of the fans. To me, I don't like Natalie Portman that much. I don't think she's a very good actress. I think she's pretty overrated.
Okay.
I didn't like her in the Thor movies. And this is just let's throw in more women into the superhero stuff and let's give them... Like, it's not even done in the same way of like, let's throw women in movies to give women more movies. No, this is like, let's throw women in the movies to replace men. Like, let's replace male roles. And like, Thor itself is such like a manly character. And then my biggest complaint about Endgame was that Thor was a moron. And then like, they just fattened him up and threw him away as a joke character, and then now they're just gonna give all of his praise to this girl. Her arms are like skinnier than mine. It's ridiculous. So for me, I'm just like, this is a joke. Like, I see that, and I don't want to watch, and I don't really want to see that side of Marvel. And I feel like that's where they're going too. It's like Captain Marvel, Black Widow, and now Thor, and also Valkyrie is like this new character they're making a big deal. And it's like, I don't watch Star Wars because there's so many women like doing the male roles in that one. So it's like, I don't really want that to happen to Marvel. So now they are. And I guess Marvel I was already going to jump off of Endgame anyways, but now I'm really jumping off. Like I'm not watching any of that. So
okay.
Yeah.
I guess
so that's my strong stance on that.
I can see how part of it could be maybe like on a marketing standpoint, maybe they know that there's already enough of a following for people who are interested in seeing a change in who plays these superhero characters and who plays like the typical quote unquote manly character, right? So
right.
Thor probably being the most manly character, I guess, out of all of them.
I'd say Captain America. I think Captain America's the most manly.
Why would you say?
I think Thor is the most heroic. No, sorry, that's not true.
Captain America's the most heroic.
No, Captain America's the most heroic, but also the most manly. Thor is the most like what's a good word for that? Because the reason why I think Captain America is more manly than Thor is because Captain America embodies more characteristics than just strength. While Thor is usually, it's almost the same story every single time. He loses. It's the Hercules story. It's like he loses his strength for a little bit and has to realize that he has the strength within to then have the strength outside, right? Like all three movies do the same story.
Yeah.
And Captain America's is so much more than just losing your strength. His is always about heart. His is about character. His is about leadership. And there's like more qualities to a man in Captain America than there is in Thor, I guess is what I'm getting at. So that's why I think he's more manly.
I don't know. I guess, okay, so when I can't really say that those qualities for me in Captain America and how he's embodying those would make him more manly, because I feel like those could easily be characteristics of any person, whether they're a man or a woman. Like, I guess when I think of Thor and how he always claimed to be, like, and out loud too, like he would like self-proclaim himself the strongest Avenger. And I feel like that's, right. For me, that's almost like a stereotypical, like jock male character.
Yeah, he's definitely an alpha character. He's very alpha-like in his behavior. Yeah. Which is a manly trait, but it doesn't encompass everything about being a man. Captain America is not necessarily an alpha, as we know. But he has like alpha dominance thrust upon him, and he chooses to accept it, which is more of like a Bravo or Delta or Omega kind of thing. Okay. He's not necessarily, like he's not flirting with every single girl in the room. That's very much an alpha. Okay. So I don't know. He's separate. He's separate from that. He's like a Delta. I would say.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess I feel like it's hard to really define any of these characters as being, like, for me, like if they're being manly or womanly, because like what does that even mean? Like for me, seeing all these characters, they're all just exuding some sort of heroism, whether they are like a male or female.
Yes.
And so for me, that's kind of enough that I don't have to distinguish any of the characters as being like, oh, this is a manly hero, or this is a womanly, or like a womanly hero or heroine. For me, it's just this is a heroic character showing qualities of a hero, like selflessness, like sacrificing for the greater good, like those kind of things. Right. I imagine that because we've just seen so many male characters in that position, like with the Avengers, how many female characters were there really? Like just Black Widow, I think.
In the first Avengers.
Yeah. So since then, like, I feel like we've slowly been transitioning into just like kind of bringing more light to the heroines, regardless, right? Like it almost doesn't seem like a big surprise to me that they've gone this route. It's just however it went from then, like Pepper Potts became like a big character. Like she sort of started on the sidelines, but then she grew to be something that was a big character, a supporting character for Iron Man, and then eventually took over the company. So you could see how she's like kind of rising higher and higher, but she doesn't like take advantage of these in very like negative ways or whatever. And eventually, then we see in Endgame that she's got the suit on, and now she's gotten to the point where she's actually showing that heroism that that Iron Man had, and that all these other male characters had as well. Like it just took this time for her to get there. I imagine that would kind of be the same for, like, I guess like Valkyrie, Valkyrie and Natalie Portman. What's her name? Jane. Like, these characters, we haven't seen a lot of their screen time to grow into that. But I guess I just take it as like an overarching thing. Like, it just seems to me like there's already been.
My door is being knocked on. 2 seconds. Hold on.
All right.
There's another distraction.
More rambling. I'm just gonna keep going with the topic, so that you can't refute me. Ha 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 ha. So, audience, I'm sure you'll agree with me that. Sorry, now I'm distracted by Mattbrush. I'm watching him. He's standing midway in the door. There's a light shining through, and I hear a very low voice. Oh! It sounds like there could be some conflict. I see the man's pant leg is waving in the wind with anger. I can sense it. Yeah, so looks like that conflict ended, and Mattbrush came back with something in his hands.
Anth0z,
not sure what it is.
I would say
what's in your hands?
It's about the time where we go to what we like to call intermission.
You're totally ignoring me, but okay, sure.
Intermission.
Wait, you're still ignoring me. Can you hear me?
Intermission. Yes, I can hear you. I'm just ignoring you.
Okay. I was worried that I wasn't
crazy.
Like, my mic wasn't
on. You go crazy when I don't acknowledge you.
Oh.
So Anth0z, for intermission, we're gonna play trivia, and the trivia we're gonna play is name this. What is this, Anth0z?
Is that
It's
green. A kumquat?
It's green. It looks kind of. What's those things like?
So it's not a kumquat.
It's not a kumquat.
Is it a persimmon?
Nope.
A fig?
It's a fig. You got it.
Oh, figs are green
It's a
on
fig.
the outside.
Yeah, these are actually really ripe too. Oddly enough.
Oh, cool.
I don't remember figs being green, to be honest, but they are really ripe. I can tell. I can just rip it open right now if I wanted to. Fig. Yeah.
Are figs on the inside like brown? Or like
yes, they are.
Yellowish?
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Figs normally go brown on the exterior, but these are a little green. But the thing is, they're ready to rip open though for sure. Anyway, sorry, that was my neighbor. He was just wanting to give me some figs and then tell me that the figs on my side of his big tree that hangs over my fence are ready to pick. And if I don't pick them, the birds are going to get them. So it pays
nice
to have
So he's letting
neighbors.
you just pick them? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, that was intermission. Intermission. Okay, now we're back. Okay.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, another phone call?
Oh, love that theme though.
Holy smokes. It was a telemarketer, so we're okay.
Cool.
I'm not gonna let distractions stop this podcast. We're gonna get through this. Okay. So, did we talk enough about Thor?
I think we talked enough
we
about everything.
We don't know anything about Thor, do we? We just know it's Natalie Portman and she's gonna wield the hammer.
And there's love and thunder.
And there's love and there is thunder. We come from the land of the ice and snow. I feel like...
Which I think is based off a comic.
Yes, I think the Love and Thunder comic, or I could be wrong, but I think at least the one that stars Jane Foster is the one where she has cancer and is dying, and therefore she becomes Thor. That's the qualification to become Thor. Get cancer.
Great. Can't do it.
Okay. Okay, so in other news, you are the one who showed me this trailer.
Ooh.
Do you want to take it away? Do you know what I'm talking about?
It rhymes with Stitcher. I'm assuming.
What?
Is that... That's one that... Didn't I show you that trailer?
Twitcher? Pitcher? Quitcher? Fitcher? Litcher? Zitcher? Bitcher? Titcher? Ditcher?
Go towards the end of the alphabet.
Yitcher? Zitcher?
Not as far as Yitcher. Just a little bit...
Richer? Titcher? Sitcher? Vitcher?
I can't tell if you're joking or not.
I don't know. Pitcher? I don't know what you're saying. Mitcher?
Did I
Nitcher?
not? I swear I gave you...
Oh
I linked you the...
I can't believe I passed the W. I'm such an idiot. Oh my gosh.
they're there.
It's Witcher.
There. It is Witcher. I guess that's not what you were referring to, though.
That isn't, but at the same time, I can't believe that took me so long. Like, that was all real right there. That was legit.
Were you referring to the one that rhymes with Licard?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Let's talk about Witcher first, though.
Okay.
My quick thoughts on Witcher, and I watched the trailer thrice now, And then I watched a trailer made by some Germans or some Polish people, I think. And they made a trailer for like a fan film of it. And then I rewatched the Netflix one. I'm not happy with it. I think it looks dumb. Personally, I don't like the look of Geralt. Is that his name?
Right.
Geralt?
Okay.
I don't like the look of Geralt, and I think he looks weird in most of the shots, and he doesn't really remind me of the guy from the show, except for when you don't see his face. That's what like my biggest issue is. Every time he's like his back is to you, it looks just like the game, and then every time you see his face, it looks so bizarre. It's just like, I don't like you.
What about it looks bizarre though? Doesn't he just look like Henry Cavill?
No, he kind of looks like a Diet Coke version of Orlando Bloom in The Hobbit. Not even the good Orlando Bloom. Like the Orlando Bloom from The Hobbit with the weird eyes, who's like, meow. He looks like that, but then like also more haggard and weird. And like, I swear, you can like pause any moment of that trailer where you're looking at his face, and it looks off. Like, I don't know if they do CGI on him or if it's strange makeup or something, but it looks off. And my
I guess that could...
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I guess that could be why when I first watched it, I couldn't... I didn't realize that it was Henry that was acting as that role. And then when they showed his face, I didn't realize it was him. I was trying to figure out, like, who is this guy?
Henry Cavill.
Something about him looks familiar,
Henry Cavill.
Yeah. So maybe they do have some stuff on him.
Yeah, my girlfriend couldn't tell it was him at all. I even told her that it was Superman, and then she's like, what? And she couldn't see it. So...
Towards the end of the trailer, he has like the Witcher eyes.
Yeah, and that's not even the Witcher eyes. That's not what they look like.
Oh, okay.
At least, hold on. Let me type in the Witcher eyes. Before I speak with all this confidence on this, Witcher eyes. I feel.
What's this going to be? Netflix or Amazon Prime Video?
Netflix.
Or
okay, so the Witcher eyes are yellow like a cat, and then his eyes were they not blood red?
They looked. Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Weird. But then again, now. I've never read the books. I haven't read the book series, and apparently this is based on the books. So for all I know, that's actually a thing in the books, not the game. I don't know. But my argument is, how come he looks exactly like he does in the game then? If you're going to make it based on the books and change things like that, and then make him look exactly like he does in the game. So that's my argument.
I guess they get the source material for having the visual reference from the game, but at the same time, they want to cater to the book because that came first.
Well,
and so did the
then
egg.
Why didn't they do that with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone? They made Harry Potter eyes blue when they should have been green. So answer me that, Witcher
like
people.
I didn't like Harry Potter's scar.
My scar, it burns.
That's my only critique about that movie. I didn't like his scar.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I do agree with you. It looked weird.
Anyway,
The Witcher. I also thought that trailer was hilarious. It's really funny. If you watch it and you know what if you keep watching it, it's really funny. Just watch it over and over again. It is the most cliche trailer I've ever seen. It's like, I was joking to you earlier. I was like, you could spice that scene of Obi-Wan Kenobi being like, you are the chosen one. You could just like throw that into that trailer at any moment. And it makes sense because that trailer is just a bunch of stock lines thrown out to like be this gigantic quest. And then it's, okay, so the trailer is half that. And then it's half trying to be Game of Thrones, even though The Witcher is not Game of Thrones. So they're like, oh, what's this? You didn't enjoy the Game of Thrones finale? Oh, well, I've got the show for you. It's a fantasy realm, and we're going to throw in a bunch of politics. So you'll enjoy it. Somebody even says, chaos is like... And then it pauses.
A box of chocolates.
Yeah, it just pauses after that. Everyone in their mind is like a ladder. It's a ladder. Like, everyone just wants to finish it. Like, it's so dumb. The characters don't even seem like they're from the game or the book. I don't know. But they don't really seem like they're from that. They were speaking of some dark blood elf race or something. It's all these black people that are like impoverished or something. And it's like a slave race. Oh, we're slaves and all this. And I was like, what is this storyline? Like the original Witcher story was from Poland. And it's all white people and it's Polish. And it's like a Scandinavian tale or something, right? And it's like this show is just trying to be something not The Witcher and then slapping The Witcher on it. It's so bizarre. So for me, I'm like, this is dumb. I'm not going to watch it. So I might read the books now, though. I'm fairly intrigued.
Yeah, I guess now that... So this and some other things that were announced during Comic-Con and also leading up to it, like all the trailers that we've seen recently, they're prompting me to want to kind of go back and...
Source material.
Read or watch it. Yeah, exactly. So... now that I know Witcher's it's going to be coming out, I want to go back. I want to read the game and I want to play the books. I want to just see how that all came to be in the beginning.
Yep.
Same thing with can we move on to another trailer? So the one that rhymes with Ricard?
Oh, do you mean Picard's?
That's the one.
Picard?
Engage.
Figaro. Oh, I can do this. It's a meme, right? Because he's got his head on this thing?
Right.
Yeah, I can do the meme.
Oh, no.
It's a visual
He's
meme.
the one that goes... he goes...
Yeah.
Yeah. Like...
Yeah, facepalm
Yeah.
and the hand thing and engage. Yeah. Yeah, he's known for his memes. His memes.
Yeah.
I want to hear you talk about everything you liked about this trailer first before I get all mad about it. Because I feel like I just keep getting mad about things.
I don't know what to say about... Okay,
or
so...
however you feel. I mean, no filter.
Yeah, like, okay, I think when it comes to a trailer, I never really like or dislike the trailer because for me, it's just like a mishmash of info that I'm just going to put together once I actually watch the thing.
Yes, but at the same time, you don't know, or at least maybe you did, but for me, I didn't even know this thing was going to exist. And then the trailer's like Picard, and you go, oh, this is a thing? So as soon as you click it, from the moment you click it, it's just the studio telling you everything this is going to be. So you're not, I agree with you, you're not necessarily mad at the trailer, but you're mad at what they were telling you. Or you're happy about what they were telling you. It depends.
Don't tell me what I feel like.
Engage. I feel engaged.
I guess it was just... I don't know a lot of the Star Trek, The Next Generations, and I guess he was also in Deep Space Nine, right? Like the history of those shows and what they were like. So, but I can only base it off of what I watched from like the classic movies. And in this trailer, they introduce this one girl who I guess is like, she seems to be like the pivotal character in all of this.
She was the chosen one.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess like I don't know what to make of it because it doesn't seem to me like a typical Star Trek story.
Exactly.
So I guess right. So maybe I'm interested just because I feel like maybe I wouldn't have been able to watch. Like I do want to go back and watch the old Star Trek shows, but at this point, like I don't know if a modern one were to come out. Actually, no, there's a new one. Star Trek Discovery, right?
Star Trek Discovery's in season 2 now, I believe.
Okay. So I don't know. It's hard for me to say like I would be able to get into that kind of show, but because Picard doesn't look like it's going to be like what I imagined the old Star Trek shows to be, that I feel like there's a chance that I can. I liked there's a very small bit of dialogue that he had with Data at the very end, and I think, what did he say? He said, I don't want the game to end, or I don't something like I don't want the game to end. And Data's response was, oh, I can see that, sir, or something like that, because like Data was dead, or like he sacrificed himself, and then I guess Picard put him together so that he could interact with him still.
Interesting.
So I guess I don't know. For me, it seems like, okay, so there are things about Picard's past that he hasn't been able to let go, or something, and so we're gonna be seeing some sort of struggle there. I gotta say, and I don't mind looking into that. It's
Logan meets the typical, the prophecy child storyline. So it's so again, it's so cliche. I watched that trailer and I laughed, and I wish I had my notes because I broke down the trailer to like the little moments that were just laughable for like what you could expect the line. You could anticipate the next line. And there was literally a line where someone was like, she's the chosen one, but she doesn't know it yet. And I was like, oh my God. Like, it's just so in your face. And he's just playing Logan, which is hilarious because he was in Logan, but he's playing Logan this time around. He's the old one who has to come back out of retirement to then do the same thing. It's also Denzel Washington in that one, whatever that one is, Man on Fire. It's the same story. It's just like the redemption hero who comes out of retirement to go and do the one last hurrah, the cowboy's last ride kind of thing to save the woman from the town. And the woman from the town is the prophecy character. And now it's like we got this little girl, but she's not a little girl, I guess. She was kind of more of a young woman. And and then they love to throw this in. She does some weird karate moves to like some guards, and she like grabs one guard, and if you watch the trailer you can see it. She grabs like one guy, and with one hand she's holding like both his hands and like stopping him. Like that stops the guard. Like he's just like about to, I don't know, punch her. Maybe he's trying to grab her, and she grabs his hands, and then he's like, oh, like he's stuck with that, I guess. And then with her foot, she back kicks another guard, who then gets hit, I guess, with some kind of massive gust of wind because he goes flying from this kick and he goes way off the stairs. And it's like, wait, what? So this chick is like some crazy powerful person who can like just punch these guys and kick them off. and that just looked really funny.
It sounds like she's Sky or Daisy from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So maybe there's a crossover. Picard or Star Trek and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Maybe. Disney's pretty crazy. They do buy a lot of stuff. Maybe they did it.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is pretty much like all taking place in space these days.
Is it?
So it's
That's probably because they
I
can't put anything on Earth and screw up anything that's happening in Marvel. So they're like, let's just take these characters and put them far away.
I get, that's probably a good point. Yeah, just to kind of like isolate it.
And near the end of the trailer, there was like a beat and a moment, and I'm pretty sure what they did is they showed Picard's face, and he's like turning to look at something, and like maybe a line was spoken, and you're like, oh, here's the moment in the trailer where we have to reveal somebody we haven't seen in a long time. Like, who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be the bearded dude? Is it gonna be someone?
Yeah.
And then there's the chick that I don't know, the chick from his show, I guess, that people are like,
7 of 9.
Sure. 8 of 4, and she comes out and she's like here's my exposition line to say to the audience that I'm in this too, and then they just cuts to like title like da-dong, and like the music even had like the same like da 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 boom, and it's like, oh my god. And then it's like Picard, like I don't know what it said, but I feel like it was like Picard flown up onto the screen, and then of course right after Picard, it shows him looking like near the camera to engage or something. And it's like, oh my god!
Man, you were so riled up by anything trailer / Comic Con related.
Because I'm exhausted, man. I'm exhausted because it's all the same crap. It's all the same. Like, do something new. Whenever I see a new trailer style, I love it and I praise it. Even if I don't like the movie, I will pinpoint that trailer and say it's good. Mad Max had a great trailer. It was amazing. Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, amazing trailer. Inception, amazing trailer. Interstellar, a really good trailer too. Christopher Nolan's really good, I guess. But man, so many trailers are the exact same thing today, and it gets really annoying. But if we're done with Picard, I can move on to something that I am happy about, I guess, and then I can change pace a little bit.
Well, I'll just say in terms of like the whole trailer thing. I guess. Wait, what were the last words that you were saying?
I think I was mimicking the sounds.
Well, I guess I just wanted to because you're saying like the trailers are following a formula.
Oh, it's always a formula.
But
boom.
Yeah,
fade to black.
But I guess
this summer
to defend that, like I feel does it. I mean, I guess you want your trailer to be able to entice people and get more people on board to watch whatever it is you're going to show them. But I guess at the same time, a trailer, I don't know, like. For me, the art of the trailer isn't that necessary. So for putting in so much effort just to make the trailer itself like completely different, for me, it wouldn't be telling of how the movie's going to be. So
I'll agree
I
with
think
you
that's
there.
why.
I mean, Star Wars Last Jedi, I think, had a good trailer. There was a good trailer to maybe the first or second trailer. I can't remember which one it was, but it had a really good trailer. But that movie sucked, so I don't know. So you're right. The trailer really is not indicative of the movie. And in fact, there's trailer house companies that make the trailers too. So it's really not indicative of it because it's not even the editor of the movie. So it's done entirely differently.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Like, I think that's part of why like I don't necessarily have such strong feelings towards the trailers because like for me, like the trailer is just like a stepping stone before I just get to watch what I want to watch.
Yeah.
Like the trailer for me is like I think nowadays. So I think I told you I didn't actually watch any of the Endgame trailers until the day of watching the movie.
Oh wow!
So I
that's good.
Yeah, because like I didn't want to spoil anything.
That's really if you can like, handle that and like continue with that attitude, you can go into most movies with an open mind, which would be great. It would be nice to not be spoiled on half the jokes of a movie or like the tone or something, right? Like so.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing because like when I watch the trailer, like this is gonna sound a little bit like negative too, but. When I watch a trailer and they give you like the punchlines in that, and then you watch it in the movie and they haven't edited. So like the way that you saw it in the trailer is the way you see it in the movie, and it's not funny to me the second time. But then I hear everybody else, like a lot of other people will laugh. I'm like, what? Haven't you heard this already? Why is it funny this time? Like it's so anyway, that's just me kind of ranting about that. But that's part of the reason why I wanted to avoid watching anything Endgame related was because I wanted everything to be a complete enjoyable experience. I didn't want anything to be spoiled beforehand. So for me, I think it helped anyway. Like it got me kind of hyped up because I pretty much watched them not just the day of, but like literally like the hours and like minutes before watching the movie. So yeah, it was as if I was watching it for the first time like all together anyway.
I think trailers don't necessarily make or break a movie for me, but they do get me excited for movies. And it's so important for me to get excited before watching a movie, I think, because if I go in blind, I really start judging the structure of the story, and I don't want to. But I used to have a filmmaker background, so that's why it made me like try to focus on structure more often than not. And I would love to not think about that. I'd love to be so excited that I just go into it and I'm just watching a story and not caring about anything. And if I'm excited about something, my bias will kick in, and then I'm able to just enjoy it, because I'm like, I'll have like a defensive bias that I'm putting up, and then I can just enjoy something. And so I can get excited for stuff, and it really depends on the trailer. And so I think Star Wars did that with Last Jedi, and then I went into it and I think that's why it took me so long in the movie to realize it was a bad movie. It wasn't until like Finn and what's her name were off at some casino thing that I was like, oh, this is a bad movie. Like, it was like, oh no. It was so disappointing. And it actually happened in Endgame as well, because I thought the Endgame trailer was exciting and I got excited for Endgame. And it wasn't until they were doing the heist stuff. It was actually, I think I mentioned it in our Endgame review, but it was when Rocket and Thor are off on the Dark World planet thing. It's
Asgard?
Yeah, Asgard, but in the Dark World movie. It's at that moment when they're talking and they're trying to play off some jokes that just, in my opinion, weren't hitting. And I'm just like, oh no. And I can like feel the walls breaking in my head. And I was like, I'm not enjoying this. Oh no. And it was like falling away from me. And I was like, there it goes. No. And so it's hard to not have that. Anyways, if I see something obvious in a trailer, I'm going to be pissed off before I even go into the movie. And then it's like hopeless from that point. So Aladdin, I find Aladdin interesting because I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. And I think it's actually because the trailer made me interested. I was like, oh, you know what? This actually doesn't look terrible. I thought the genie looked kind of weird, but he ended up being one of my favorite things about Aladdin. So, so
we'll save Aladdin for another conversation after I get a chance to watch the old Aladdin again.
You should, yes, definitely watch the old Aladdin again. Definitely.
Yeah.
And so on this note, I just wanted to quickly pivot to something a little bit more positive on my side, because I am very negative today. But I'm not like making this up. This is actually how I feel about all these things. Now, I don't know why I feel these things. It seems real from me. Like I do feel these things when I see these trailers and I hear this news, and it does make me upset. And I'm like, wow, that's dumb. And that's also why my Scooby-Doo theory is important. My Scooby-Doo theory is important because you have to segment it. It's not necessarily the character I care about. I don't really care about Jane Foster or Thor for that matter. I care more about the message and what the studios say about it, and like them pushing this out. The message matters more to me than the character itself. So anyways, regardless, switching on to a trailer of something I'm really excited about. It had a new trailer.
Knew it.
Yeah, you knew it.
I knew it.
Well, I knew it too. And it looks really good.
Does it?
It does. And again, this is probably my bias kicking in.
Does it?
It does.
Sorry.
The first trailer to it.
I got it's my friend's reference, that's all. It's...
does it? Oh yeah.
Does
I know,
it?
Yeah.
Right?
Does it?
Do you get it? Does it? Yeah.
It does. It really does.
That's the one. Yes. Did it?
So, the first trailer to It 2, Chapter 2, I guess. Was really well done. It's mainly just a scene. It's a scene from the book, a famous scene. It's actually really interesting how close it is to the source material of the book. It kind of shocked me because I felt like this movie has a lot to do, and it's not going to be able to fit it all in. And then I saw that scene, and I had so many high hopes. It was an interesting trailer because it's just a scene. But I had like such high hopes, and I was like, great, it's really going to be adapted from the book. So I went through the whole audiobook from that trailer to this trailer, and I've now listened to it again. And man, I love that book. It's so good. But now I'm seeing the next trailer, and I have to say, somehow I can realize this is not the source material of the book. They're doing their own thing, and also like what I'm seeing. It's very interesting. So it's like not at all the book. They're definitely going to change things. But from what I can see, I like the changes. So I think that's adaptation done right. It's done in a way where maybe we're not seeing exactly what we did in the book, but we're going to see something else that does the same thing. It just does it quicker. Or we're going to see something else that tells the story in the way that the movie can tell it better. So, as opposed to a book, for that matter.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited. That trailer was crazy. There's a funhouse scene, which is not from the book, and that was really interesting. Have you seen the trailer?
I see the trailer, yeah. I haven't read the books, and I haven't seen it. Like, I haven't seen the old one, I haven't seen the new one either. So I have a lot to catch up on. But
that's okay. You don't have to watch the 90s movie one. That's okay.
Okay. I'll probably still do it anyway, just for like my own mentality. Like,
okay.
Yeah, watching the originals.
It's fairly long.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Okay, I'll put it on 2x speed.
I could be wrong, but it was a TV movie and it played for 2 days. So I think it played over the course of 2 days. So I think it's like 3 hours, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's actually only like an hour 20 and they only did 60 minutes each day. I don't know, but sorry, 120 a minute, not an hour 20.
Yeah.
But the trailer looks good. Small things that I noticed from it that I really enjoyed. The kids are back. There's some interesting things with the kids where it's going to show some reflections. I thought that was cool. Some of the scenes, some of the famous scenes from the book seem to be playing a little bit differently. There's a fridge scene from the book that's really, really famous, and the trailer showed it a little bit, but the fridge seemed to be in a different spot. That was interesting. The funhouse scenes is totally original and yet also very cool, and it's just a house of mirrors from a carnival, and Bill is running through the house of mirrors trying to catch a kid, who I think is a fairly pivotal kid from the book as well, for Bill's character, and he's chasing this kid in the funhouse, and then he gets like blocked, kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Phantom Menace, the best Star Wars movie. He gets blocked by a laser beam kind of field, and so the kid's sitting there, and then in the chamber next to him there's Pennywise the clown, and it's so it's just interesting. I don't necessarily like the tongue effect. He's got this weird tongue thing he does on the mirror. Yeah. It's kind of weird, but I love the next shot where his eyes are just like nuts and he's just looking at the kid. And it's just like, It doesn't look jumpy, and that gets me excited. It doesn't look jumpy. It looks creepy. Like, my girlfriend and I watched it, and she was like, that looks scary. And I was like, yes, and good. It's like scary and good. It's not like watching Saw, where you're disgusted scary. It's like you're excited to be scared by this. It's excited scary. It's so weird. But I love it.
It's interesting. So I think I kind of took it the opposite. So from what I remember of the trailer for It, the first movie, I remember
that was the subtitle.
Looking at
It, the first movie.
I remember thinking like, wow, this looks a bit different from what I'm used to seeing in like horror movies, and it definitely looks like eerie and creepy.
Right.
And when I watched this one, I think, wow, this looks like a typical cliche like slasher horror movie.
Oh, really?
And now like it doesn't seem interesting to me anymore because like I guess it's because it's already revealed like who Pennywise is or whatever, right? So he's just like the thrill factor of like showing him on screen is not as it's not there as much as it was in the first time, for like the first trailer anyway. And the whole funhouse thing for me was like, oh, this is an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. And then like the whole like growing up thing, like, oh, this is probably Goosebumps, where like this curse followed them for years and years, or it's like I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of thing. So like for me, like watching this trailer was like, ugh, now it's not as intriguing as it was, as the first trailer was for me, and now I'm not as interested in watching it, but I'm still gonna watch it because like I have the original interest from the first trailer, from the first movie's trailer.
You can do whatever you would like, and I really don't blame you for having that opinion, because I could have a very similar opinion without knowing the source material, but like the story of It is so much more than just a clown trying to kill people. That's definitely just like more of a metaphor than anything. It's so much more about growing up and overcoming your fears. That's really all it is. And so Stranger Things is almost like the It we should have had. And then we ended up getting It, Chapter 1, which I think was very well done. And then we're like, oh, here we go. Somebody's telling the story. And now we get the new one. And it's like, it's just a really good, like, metaphorical kind of story. Like I said, growing up and overcoming your fears. And like, the funny thing is, it's like being a child and overcoming your fears and what that matters to you then. And then being an adult and overcoming your fears and what that matters to you now. And I think that's the portion that might start to strike home with you, is that you relate with kids and you go, oh, that's fun. This is whimsical and fun because I get those kinds of fears. But once you start to get to the adult side of things, it's creepy in a sense because it's real. You're like, oh, I know that fear, and I know that fear too well, you know? Like, so some pretty interesting stuff happens there. And I think the book is probably the best way to go through it. I mean, that is the original story, but the book goes, each chapter switches back between the kids to the adults. So you're seeing parallels between fears that maybe you didn't think about before, that you're like, oh, wow, cool. That makes sense. And you start to realize a lot. So it's very psychological, but very cool. And the movies are a little bit different because they are split between two different movies. But I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some parallels between the two. But maybe it's best that you waited, and now you get this full experience all at once. And maybe you'll love it. I don't know. I do have to say the first movie, kind of opposite of what you said, the first movie while it was unique and good and it seemed more like an indie horror or something and intriguing, they threw in these stupid Hollywood jump scares that they did not need to throw in, and they're really overused. And it seems as if they were thrown in at last second when the studio was like, there's not enough jump scares, you gotta scare the audience every 7 minutes or something, so throw these in there, right? So there are some dumb jump scares that I feel like they don't need to be there, and I'm really hoping this next one, they purposely don't do them because they can show that you can be scary visually without jumping the audience, you know? Like, you don't need to jump scare the audience, you can just visually scare them, I guess.
Okay.
So I'm hoping we go that route. So kind of opposite of what you said based on the trailers. I hope we go less cliche and more unique horror with the next one.
Well, yeah, of course, I would definitely hope for that. Yeah. It's just I wasn't really getting that vibe from the trailer.
Yeah.
But,
which is intriguing. I never
to
thought about it in that sense, but you might be right. Maybe the trailer is more cliche horror. I'd have to look at it without my bias armor, but I have the bias on. Right. So I'm realizing as we're having this conversation, we talk about Marvel and stuff, and you get excited about like Marvel and fun things, and then I'm like, oh man, the things I get the most excited about are it and Godzilla. It's like my interests are so lame on this podcast.
Well, okay,
it's like Godzilla King of the Monsters. It got a 7 out of 10. I don't care. I love it.
Since this has been like kind of like a pretty varied thing, even though like we wanted to funnel it towards one topic, but we really went off track like all over the place. So I'm just gonna continue with that theme because, like, you referring to it reminded me of. I guess it kind of reminded me of two things. Yeah. So one is I watched a sneak peek for the movie Good Boys.
Oh yes, I saw that. I saw that as well. The sneak peek part. Yeah. That was interesting. It's kind of Watchmen-esque as well.
Wait, Good Boys. Did you watch the movie or you watched the?
No, it was trailer? Like a promo thing playing.
Oh, okay. So you're like the one with like the kids, right?
Oh, am I thinking of something else? Sorry, I might be thinking of something. Oh, I think I'm thinking of something else. Sorry, because don't mind me. Yeah. I'm thinking about something else.
Okay. So Good Boys is it takes place it's about these three kids that are in like elementary school, like they're like grade 6 or something like that, but it's an 18A movie, so it's from the producers or directors or whatever, from the producers I guess of like Superbad and Sausage Party, like those kind of movies, but it's kids, so kind of like how you were mentioning it in it for this one, how we see. We get to see parallels between like what the kids experience and what the adults experience, but just relating to what the kids experience and being able to actually like sympathize with what they're going through and like feel those fears.
Right.
What I really liked about Good Boys, at least for me, being a boy, like there were a lot of the things that I saw in that movie were like, wow, this is really capturing what it was like for me as a kid too. Which I thought like the accuracy helped me get really involved in the movie, but also they pair it with like pretty like the innocence that the characters that the actors actually show because they are so young. I find like it's such a funny pairing, like witnessing these kids, like, you know, kids say the darndest things, but at the same time they're troublemakers without like wanting to be troublemakers.
Right.
And it's a fun movie. So if you get a chance, I recommend watching that one.
Okay, I just searched up a little bit so I can see it. That's interesting.
Okay, so Jacob Tremblay is like I guess he would be like one of the lead roles.
Yeah.
And he's from Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a fun movie. And the other one I wanted to mention was the trailer for Jumanji 2.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Have you seen that? Yeah. Okay. What do you think about these Jumanji movies? Like
I gotta say, I actually really liked the remake or reboot or whatever you want to call it of Jumanji. I actually thought it was pretty funny, and I think it's because the all-star power of Jack Black, The Rock, and
Kevin Hart.
They're just very funny on screen. They work very well, and it's funny. I was talking to my girlfriend with the new Ghostbusters movie. They were saying that Paul Rudd is already cast. And I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like, that's going to be so good. He's just such a perfect casting. And then I said, who would be the next 3 guys you would cast? And we literally just said, like, we both together just said Jack Black, The Rock, and Kevin Hart. And we didn't even think about Jumanji. We just went, no, these 3 guys would be hilarious. And then we just went, oh my god, that's the Jumanji cast. And then I realized, I was like, they're that funny that, like, you want to put them all together. And I realized, man, you put those 4 together and you have a great movie. But anyway, sorry. Back to Jumanji, though. First Jumanji, I was shocked how much I liked it.
Okay. I haven't seen it, by the way. I watched half of it and didn't get a chance to finish it, but I do want to. So
yeah,
anyway,
I am shocked. It's really easy to watch. It's shockingly like I even saw it in theaters, and it was just kind of a one-off thing, and like the whole like theater loved it. Everyone's laughing and just like enjoying the movie. It was great, but the trailer to the second one looks like everyone phoned it in. It looks like everyone phoned it in. Not one person is like popping the way they did in the first one. It's really weird. It's like whatever that magic was, it's just not there in the second one. And much like Ghostbusters 2, it's like it doesn't look like it's going to be as good, and they'll probably just remember the reboot but not the new one.
Right. So I guess what I wanted to mention was when I first watched, or when I found out that Jumanji was going to be rebooted, and then I saw what the trailer was for the first movie and how it's like about a video game and that kind of thing, my first reaction was probably like, no, ew, why? Like it just because it's such a huge difference.
I was so pissed about that. I was like, why would you change this? You know, I was so mad.
Yeah, it was such a big change, and so I was very reluctant to watch it. But yeah, getting into it, I enjoyed the first half of what I did see, and I'm looking forward to watching the rest. And then when I saw the trailer for the second one, I thought, I think it was a good decision for them to do a sequel, because now I can see this Jumanji as being a completely separate entity from the first movie, and I don't feel that reluctance to give it support, because I feel like they've really created something on their own, they've really created something new. And
they don't have to fall onto the older movie now as like their support. They have a support, and they're built on that and moving up from there.
Exactly. So I just appreciate that they've gone with it. Like I like the decision. I support the decision, and so I want to watch. I want to watch the second. Well, I want to watch the rest of the first one, and I want to watch the second one. So hoping
I
that
hope it's good. I really do.
Yeah, for sure.
But I wasn't impressed by that trailer, and I won't see it in theaters, but I'll definitely watch it at some point and see if it's good or not. I'm not a big Danny DeVito fan, though. I don't know anything I've liked him in except for Hercules, and I'm not a big Donald. Is it Donald Glover or the other one? Danny Glover. Danny Glover, that's the one.
Yeah.
I only liked him in Lethal Weapon. I can't think of anything else I like Danny Glover in. So for me, they don't really mean much to me. That they're there, it doesn't really change anything for me. And then like watching The Rock and Kevin Hart be old men is not as funny to me as watching The Rock and Kevin Hart play like characters, like other characters who weren't them. Like I don't know what it is, but them being old men is not as funny as being young guys who are shocked to be like big and buff guys now. Or like the little guy's a big buff guy and the big guy's a little guy, you know? Like that's a much more funny thing to play off. But just being old men isn't as funny. But there was a few lines that got me. Like one, like I don't know, they said some stupid line in the trailer that I definitely laughed at. So, yeah.
Well, what I like about it is that they have the opportunity to switch who actually is in which body now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Jack Black, like in the first movie, it was one of the girls. She became Jack Black. But now in this one, it's like one of the taller African dude. Yeah. He's Jack Black now. So, which is like, this is kind of what I thought was cool, like, and why I think they really made their own thing is that, like, they have the ability to, like, it seems like the possibilities are endless now.
Yeah, I didn't really think about the fact that they could switch halfway through in the movie, though. That's something I didn't think about, but I guess that could happen. And if that happens, that'd probably be pretty funny. But yeah, I am shocked. I'm not a big Jack Black fan either, but man, he's really good in the first one. And like, School of Rock is my Jack Black movie. That's like, okay, there's good Jack Black. Everything else, I'm not really a big fan of. But School of Rock, I like.
This is unmovie related, but Jack Black related. If you go on YouTube and do like search for Jack Black lip syncing or something, or Jack Black like K-pop.
Oh,
you don't have to do it now, but I think we probably talked about it, right?
But I remember this.
Yeah. I think like that's great. Like I think it's just ability to just get into it like that is just so fun. Yeah,
he's a crazy guy.
Anyway,
last trailer I want to talk about real quick.
Okay,
it's Danger Zone. Highway to the Danger Zone. Did you watch the Top Gun trailer?
It's not called Danger Zone. I did watch that trailer. Yes.
Can you believe that somehow Tom Cruise can just walk into any trailer and own it? Like, he walks on screen and you're just like, damn it, I'm gonna watch this movie now. Like,
like for
he
sure.
did that to like Jack Reacher, the most typical sounding movie and most typical storyline I've ever seen. And then I watched the trailer and I'm like, damn it, this guy did it again. He looks good on screen. Like, you just want to watch every Tom Cruise movie. I don't know why, but he's good.
Yeah. You know what? He's just got this. He's just got this aura.
I don't know what it is. Like even like it's showing like that Harris guy, and he's just like, so
Ed Harris.
Yeah, Ed
right?
Harris. Yeah, and he's like, these are your credentials.
Yeah.
What do you think that is? And you're just like, oh, okay, like hard-boiled cop kind of thing. It's gonna pan and show Tom Cruise, sure, whatever. And then Tom Cruise just like, boom. I don't know. Like, I was like, oh my god, I love Tom Cruise. Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah, what does he say? That's one of life's mysteries, sir.
That's one of life's mysteries, sir. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but man, he's somehow like the perfect. I don't know what the right word is. He's like the perfect like blank slate that every man can look at and go like, I want to be you. And like, I don't know what it is. Somehow he's perfect at it.
Well, I think for me, it's not so much that I want to be him, but it's just that like when I picture him being in a movie, I can't think of any movie that he's done where it's like flopped or it's been a failure, or like where his character, at least being in that kind of like lead role character.
Yeah.
Like they always did well. They always felt like some sort of complete movie, if you know what I mean.
He must always put his heart and soul into every character he does. Like he has to.
Oh, I'm sure he
has
does.
to. I don't think we've ever seen Tom Cruise phone it in. I think he's always been there and like putting himself into it. And he's definitely got range. He doesn't do it as much, but he's got range. But I do like him as the action hero star character. He just is good at that. And he's old and still rocking it. So good on him.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see that. But also, I have not seen the original Top Gun, so now I have to go back and watch that.
Okay, you know what's funny?
So
neither have I. I've never seen it either.
Oh, nice.
So, and yet I've seen like clips from it. It was like my mom's favorite movie, and I know a lot of the cliche jokes. I know like Maverick. I know Goose. But I've never seen the movie. Yeah, Iceman. But I've never seen the movie. So for me, like the trailer doesn't mean all that much except for this looks good and I'll watch it. And the thing is, I could probably watch the movie without even watching the original and probably still like it. But I think you and I should probably just watch Top Gun together. Let's just watch Top Gun together.
You know what? Let's make a pact that for the rest of 2019, we watch every single prequel of whatever is coming up in 2020 or and on.
Okay.
Everything.
That sounds
Absolutely
good.
everything.
Okay, we'll do that.
There's a lot to watch. So we have to watch all of Star Trek: The Next Generation, all of Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, Top Gun. We have to watch it and the original It. Yep. We have to watch The Walking Dead seasons 1 through 9.
Of course.
And
Supergirl.
Fear the Walking Dead seasons 1 through 4.
Supergirl.
Yep. And also
Doom Patrol.
The Flash seasons 1 through 6.
Don't forget Frasier with David Harbour. We gotta watch the original Frasier as well.
Oh, yep.
Oh, baby, I hear the blues are calling. Okay, Anth0z, that's everything from me for Comic-Con. How are you? You got anything else for Comic-Con you want to talk about?
I wish Comic-Con would come to Vancouver. That's about it.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
San Diego.
That's it.
Okay. Now we hit a special part of the show that I like to call the end. So, Anth0z, where can the audience find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Anth0z1. That's at ANTH0Z1.
And if you want to find me, you can find me at Twitter at Mattbrush Gaming. And if you'd like to find this show, you can also type in Mattbrush Gaming, go to YouTube, and find the video version of this podcast. If you're a podcast fan like myself, you're probably just going to go to your podcast platform of choice and find us on there. And we are the Scumm Bar Podcast. If you'd like to actually send us a message and talk to Anth0z and I, you can send us a message at thescummbarpodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave us a comment on YouTube or on any of your podcast platforms. And while you're doing that, if you could just leave us a like or a rating or like a subscribe or a comment, or just tell us how your day was, you know, that'd be great too. Just let us know what's going on. We just want to know about
just say hi.
you. In fact,
yes.
I'd like to give a special shout out to one of our listeners. I have no idea who you are, but you obviously listened to one episode, then decided to go back and listen to every single episode, and you listened to the whole thing too, so you're a trooper. Either that, or you fell asleep, and the playlist was just auto-playing each video, and you just ended up going through the whole series. I don't know, but...
And they just fell asleep.
I just want you to know that we appreciate you. You rock.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, you get a very special shout-out, kudos. You get all the prizes. We don't have any, but you get them all. Anth0z, as we say on every single podcast.
Mushu, wushu, fadushu, lushu, sushu, dushu. Get your boo shoes.
Get your boo shoes here.
Get your boo shoes.